So now we are going to see what are enumerations in Java. So basically in programming, we normally tend to use constants like public, static, int, some variable name. So instead of defining these kind of constants, what we do is we create a immutable set of constants as a group, and then we use that particular defined group wherever we need. So basically, enumerations in Java is another class type. So when I mention a class type, does it support the functionalities which normal classes support? Yes, it does, but few of them. It does not support inheritance. So once you have an enumeration created, you will not be able to extend or inherit from other enumerations. And what are the things that you can possibly do? You can create constructors, you can create variables inside enumerations, and you can also define your own methods. So, in a way, it is also a class. So, this example is a very basic example where we are going to see how we can use enumerations and how we can set particular constants for a particular object using these enumerated constants. So let us see how that is done. In this program, we have created enumeration with certain constant values. So we have enumeration called circuit breaker state, and it has three predefined values. One is the open, half open, and closed. So whenever we define values or constants within an enumeration, it actually assumes a ordinal value based on the positioning within the defined order. So the first one becomes a zero until unless you specify a specific value using its constructor. By default, it is going to take the value zero. Then the next constant will take the value one, and like that, it will continue. So the ordinal values that we have is 0, 1, 2 for these three constants. And now we need a place where we can consume these values. We need an area where these values are needed. So that is being offered by this class called circuit breaker. So circuit breaker, if you might have heard, this is a design pattern which actually prevents applications from repeatedly trying out operations which are destined to fail. So it is a little complex topic, and I would not like to talk about that in this video. But basically, the idea is it can assume three states. One is half open, one is closed, and another is open state. So this circuit breaker will have a private member which will be of the enumeration type circuit breaker state, and it will have a getter and setter to set values in that state. One thing to note is that when we are setting the state, we will not be able to use the ordinal values to set the state. So let's say if I want to set the half open state, I cannot use the value 1. I have to use this enumerated constant value that we are going to pass. And when we are trying to return the state of the circuit breaker, it is actually going to give you the enumeration type in the return and not the ordinal value. Now let us define a client which will make use of the circuit breaker, and it will show us the implementation as well. So we have this class circuit breaker client, and we have a main method. So here we have first defined our circuit breaker, that is this class. And then we are trying to print out the ordinal values of these three constants that we saw. So the value of open will be this, same for half open and same for closed. So when we run this code, we are going to see the values of this. So let me quickly run this. So as you can see, the ordinal values of open is 0, half open is 1, and closed is 2. Now I am setting the state of this circuit breaker to closed. And how we are going to do that? We use the object circuit breaker and do set state, and then we pass the enumerated constant here. And if we want to set the state with the ordinal value, that is 2, this is not going to be allowed. We cannot use ordinals directly. It has to be via enumerated constants. Now I am trying to get the current state of this circuit breaker. So I use the get state method and I get back the state, and then I print out the state of the circuit breaker. So since I have already set the state of the circuit breaker to closed, we should be able to see closed being printed out. So let us quickly run this. So we can see this print statement actually prints the circuit breaker state is closed. Now what we have done is we have again done a set state of the circuit breaker to half open, and then we have again fetched the new state of the circuit breaker and then printed it out. And in the next line you can see that it has assumed the new state of the circuit breaker, which is half open. So this is how we normally use enumerations. There are various other use cases where we can introduce constructors, variables, methods. So we will be touching upon those areas as well. But I kept this pretty simple as this is more beginner friendly. So hope you like this.